Okay. Hello everyone. Today we are going to go ahead with the topic levels of strategy. In the earlier lecture, we have already seen the three different levels of strategy. Just to quickly revise, these are the three levels of strategy: corporate level, business level, or this is also called as SBU level strategy, and the third level is the functional level or the operational level strategy. We have seen in the earlier lecture what is a corporate level strategy. This is a strategy which is made for a very long term period, and it is usually made by the top level management. It decides vital issues of the organization like allocating resources, transferring resources, or managing and nurturing a portfolio of businesses. The second level, as you all know, is the SBU level or the business level strategy. Each SBU looks after a particular business line. So the strategy which is made for that particular business line is called as the SBU level business strategy. This strategy is made by the SBU manager, and this strategy may be for the long term or medium term. The third level of strategy is the functional level strategy. The organization is carrying out different functions, and each of these functions are looked after by a particular department. So the strategy which is formulated by that particular department is called as a functional level strategy. For example, you may have a marketing strategy for the marketing department, finance strategy for the finance department, and so on. Now, the first level of strategies, as we all know, is the corporate level strategies. The corporate level strategies can be divided into stability strategy, expansion strategy, retrenchment strategy, and a combination strategy. So, there are four subtypes of corporate level strategy. Now, let us see each of them one by one, beginning with stability strategy. The stability strategy is a strategy which is used by an organization when the conditions are almost stable, or they just want to wait before they start a new strategy. So these strategies can be divided into three: pause and proceed with caution strategy, no change strategy, and a profit strategy. When the strategies which are implemented are as same as what was done earlier, this is called as a no change strategy. When there is a little difference in the strategy which has been implemented earlier, so that you earn a little more profit, which is very a small incremental increase in your profit, that is called as a profit strategy. If the organization expects some major change to happen in the business environment, they will pause. That means they will stop, they will wait, and they will proceed with caution. That means they will not have anything new, but they will continue, keep on watching what is happening and continue with their strategy, and they will move ahead after that. This is called as the pause and proceed with caution strategy. So this is the first type, stability strategy, and its subtype. Now we come to the corporate level strategy, the third type, subtype, that is retrenchment strategies. The second type is growth strategy, which we are going to see later. What is a retrenchment strategy? When any organization finds difficulties in carrying out business, when it is facing losses, when it is, there are lots of debtors, creditors who are having lots of issues with the organization, if the production is not doing well, or if the customers' preferences have changed, the sales are going down, in such cases, the company may have to use the retrenchment strategy. There are various factors which are responsible for retrenchment strategies. These factors could be external or internal. They could be like a new technology has been introduced in the environment which is not there with the organization. The customer's needs have changed, or the government policy has changed, or there is some new substitute product which is competing with your existing product, or the demand of your product is saturated. People don't want your product anymore. They are already bought your product, and now they don't want to buy any of more of your product, or the business model and organizational forms have changed. Internal factors for retrenchment strategies could be that the top management is not very effective in carrying out the business. The strategies which they have earlier implemented are not correct. The organization design may be faulty. The costs of the organizations are too high. That is why the organization is facing a loss. The sales and marketing is not good, or the assets are much more than required, and new product development may be unproductive. So in case of these factors, internal or external, the organization may decide to go for retrenchment strategies. When the organization suffers with all these difficulties, the consequences can be seen in declining profits, their cash flows will be very low, sales will fall down, market share will shrink, and debts will increase, and they will lose their goodwill. Now, retrenchment strategies are again of three types. They are turnaround, divestment, and liquidation. Every organization tries to rectify the mistakes which they have committed and tries to reverse the negative trend into a positive trend. So such strategies are called as turnaround. They try to convert a loss making unit into a profitable one. So these strategies are called as turnaround strategies. When an organization is trying to turn around, it usually forms a turnaround committee which will consist of expert management consultants, top management, and the employees' representatives. This committee will try to find out the reasons or causes for the losses and in detail do the investigation and try to offer some alternative solutions. These solutions can be surgical approach or humane approach. When the organization is using surgical approach, it means that it is going to carry out major changes in the organization. For example, they may try to remove some employees so that their expenses are curtailed. This is called a surgical approach. The second approach is humane approach, where they try to adjust with every one of the stakeholders. For example, instead of removing the employees, they will transfer the employees to some other SBU, or they will try to retrain the employees in a better way so that they can be more helpful to the organization. So that is called as a humane approach. The second type of retrenchment strategy is the divestment or divestment strategy. Now, despite all your efforts to turn around the business, to make it into a profit making, to convert a loss making unit into a profit making unit, if you are not successful, then the alternative for you is to stop that particular SBU. So that is called as divestment or divestment. It is just the opposite of investment. In investment, you put in money. In divestment, you remove the business from all the corporate. So in divestment strategies, what are the reasons for divestment strategies? If the product which you are selling, that particular product is not very popular amongst the customers, your turnaround strategy has failed, there is too much of competition, cash flow is negative, the technology which for upgradation is too expensive for you to buy, or you have some other better alternative. So in such cases, you will go for your divestment strategy. Now, the third type of retrenchment strategy is liquidation strategy. Now, even after divestment, still your organization is not able to cope up. Your whole organization is continuously facing losses. Then the extreme strategy which is to be used is the liquidation strategy, where the whole business is wound up. The whole business is meeting losses, facing continuous losses, decrease in sales. So in such cases, you can use your liquidation strategies. Liquidation strategies can be, or liquidation can be done in three ways. According to Section 425 of the Companies Act, the court can order compulsory winding up of your company, or the top management themselves may request for a voluntary winding up. And the third is the top management under the supervision of the court can carry out liquidation. So this is the retrenchment strategies and its three types. Now we go further. So we have completed stability strategy, retrenchment strategy, and let us now see the expansion strategy. The expansion strategy is the most popular strategy which is used by organizations. Every organization wants to grow. Every organization wants to reap high profit. So for that, they make use of the expansion strategy. It is also called as the growth strategy, where they will achieve higher targets than before. They will enter into new markets. They may have new product lines and so on. Growth strategies are of two types: internal growth strategies and external growth strategies. When the organization itself will grow by entering into a new market or selling a new product or doing some international expansion, it is called as internal growth strategies. Here it is not taking the help of any other outside organization. Whereas in external growth strategy, they will establish a relationship with a third party. They will merge with another organization, or they will acquire another company, or they will enter into contract with with another company, that is a joint venture, or they will do licensing and franchising. So when a third party is involved, it is called as external growth strategy. Now let us see first the internal growth strategies. Internal growth strategies may be through expansion or through diversification. This can be understood very easily by using the ANSOF product matrix. The ANSOF product matrix explains the internal growth strategies, which are market penetration strategy, market development strategy, product development strategy, and diversification strategy. Now let us try to understand with the help of this diagram. This is a snapshot of the reference book by Azhar Kazmi. This is a reference book which is used everywhere in this subject, whether it is a UG course or a PG course. So this is the ANSOF product market matrix, where on the x-axis you have the product, that is present product and new product, and on the y-axis you have the present market and the new market. So making a combination of these, we will have any of these four strategies. Let us begin first with the market penetration strategy. Market penetration strategy is any strategy where the organization sells the present product in the present market. Let us see now the market development strategy. What is a market development strategy? This is a strategy where the organization sells the present product in the new market. Now, what is this product development strategy? This is a strategy where the organization will sell a new product in the present market. And the last one is diversification strategy, where the organization sells a new product in a new market. So according to ANSOF, these are the four different strategies which can be used by the organization for their internal growth. This is the same picture, same diagram. Explain once again over here. These are the strategies which we have already seen just now. Now, when we talk about diversification strategies, we need to study their types also. Okay, diversification strategy, as we have seen, is an example of growth strategy where you are selling a new product in a new market. We can have two types of diversification strategies: concentric and conglomerate. When you are adding new products, but these products are related to your earlier business, that kind of diversification strategy is called as concentric strategy. What is conglomerate? When you are entering into new products, but these products are not related to your earlier business, this is called as conglomerate strategy. For example, given over here is Aditya Birla Group, which has entered into chemical, software, textile, fertilizer. Each of the business are very different. They are all unrelated to each other. These are some examples of concentric strategy and conglomerate strategy. Yeah, here you have the example of ITC. Here you have the example of Tata Group. Each of the business are very different from each other. Steel, salt, TCS, telecom, all of them different from each other. That is why this is an example of conglomerate. Now we come to the next type, that is external growth strategy. As you remember, in growth strategy, we have two types: internal growth strategy, which we have already seen, and the next type is external growth strategy. External growth expansion means expansion outside the organization by either mutually or taking over an existing firm or market. That means you are involving a third party now in your expansion. This can be done in various ways through mergers and acquisitions, joint ventures, amalgamation and integration. What is a merger? Merger is combination of two or more organization, which one acquires. What is joint venture? Joint venture is a long-term contract agreement between two parties for carrying out some mutually beneficial economic activity. What is amalgamation? It means two companies coming together, but they form a third new company. In a merger, a new company is not formed, whereas in amalgamation, both the companies lose their entity and a third new company is formed. The next is integration. Now, integration we need to do a little bit in detail. What is integration? For that, you must understand the meaning of value chain. Okay, what is a value chain? The process through which the whole production takes place, then the marketing and sales activity takes place, is called as a value chain. For example, if you are an organization which is manufacturing a product like say a notebook, so you will require raw material, which is paper. So you will need to buy raw material from your supplier. Then with that raw material, you will process it in your organization. You will manufacture the notebooks. You will, properly bind them. Then you will pack them, and then you will sell it to the next in the value chain will be your wholesaler. Wholesaler will then sell it to the retailer. Retailer will then sell it to the final customer. So this is called as the whole value chain. Now, when you are doing or when you are implementing an integration strategy, you are moving up or down this value chain. Okay. So integration is also an expansion strategy where you're trying to enlarge the scope of your business. It can also be considered as a diversification strategy because you are entering into a new product, right? So integration strategies can be divided into horizontal integration or vertical integration. Now, what is horizontal integration? If you are taking up the business of another organization which is in the same industry as yours, which is selling the same product as yours, which is having the same level of production as yours, that is called as horizontal integration. What is vertical integration? Vertical integration is where you move up or down the value chain. In the example which I stated just now, if you are going to combine your business with the supplier of your raw material, that is who is supplying paper to you, that is called as backward integration. Now, if you are taking up the business of the wholesaler or retailer, that means you are going closer to your customer, that is called as forward integration. Okay, this is what I explained to you just now. Vertical integration can be backward or forward. Backward integration means taking over companies which are source of raw materials. And forward integration means taking over firms relating to market, which brings you closer to the ultimate customers. Now we come to the last part of corporate level strategies, that is the internationalization strategies. If the organization is very ambitious, they may think of expanding their horizons internationally, because today the world is a global village. When we talk about internationalization strategies, we have international strategy, multi-domestic strategy, global strategy, and transnational strategy. When the product which is sold overseas, where it is not available, it is called as international strategy. Multi-domestic strategy is where the firm provides products and services which are customized to the domestic market. That is multi-domestic strategy. Global strategy is where you are going to sell a standardized products. Wherever you sell, in whatever country you sell, you are selling a global, a standardized product, that is global strategy. In transnational strategy, there is a transfer of expertise from the subsidiary to the headquarter, or from one subsidiary to another subsidiary. The different entry modes for internationalization strategy are export entry mode, which can be direct, where there is no middleman. It can be indirect, where you can make use of export houses, merchant exporters, etc. Second mode is contractual entry mode, where you can have licensing, franchising, etc. Third is by investing in a joint venture or investing independently, that is the investment entry mode. And there are some firms, which is, this is a recent concept, which are born global. That means they start business globally. This is possible due to the current internet use of these kinds of communication abilities. And the last one in the corporate level strategies is a combination strategy. What is a combination strategy? This is also called as a mixed strategy or hybrid strategy, where the organization makes use of a mixture of either stability and expansion, stability and retrenchment, or and or any of these permutations and combinations. So with this, we have completed the whole topic of corporate level strategies. I hope everyone is clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.